What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone had a happy holidays and also a good new year. That's me. I had a good one. I even got new headphones and everything, so it's been pretty great, I would say. Pretty great. Better than last year's. Last year didn't suck, it was better. Anyways, Sonic Prime. I've been a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'd say that this was the year for Sonic the Hedgehog. He was robbed at the Game Awards. He should have won at least Best Soundtrack or something, but whatever. Game Awards don't matter, in my opinion. I just watch them just to watch them. But anyway, Sonic Prime, is it good? Is it bad? Is it great? Now, when I found out the writer for the IDW comics of Sonic the Hedgehog was involved in this, I was extremely excited. Just like they had a hand in Sonic Frontiers, it was really good. And so when I heard they were inside of the show, I'm like, okay, this is going to be amazing. High expectations. Let's face it, the last Sonic show we had was Sonic Boom, and that was terrible. It was a comedy one. And then before that was Sonic X. So that was mainly copying the Sonic Adventure, then did the Madcrownxox saga, and so on and so forth. So, how did Sonic Prime fare out? It was very, very good. Was it great? It could have been, but there were some things that held it back. First, let's talk about the plots. Plot is pretty much Sonic the Hedgehog is being warped into a different timeline where he doesn't exist, but there are multiple Eggmans that exist. And they rule over the world as New York City. Yes, New York City. And the characters you see there are different. Knuckles and Rouge are kind of the same, but they're rebels. Tails goes solo and doesn't want to involve himself with anybody, but he's kind of a badass. And then even Mr. Big. Yes, even Mr. Big's in this show. And when I found out that Mr. Big's in the show, I was kind of skeptical. Let's face it, Mr. Big is one of the most hated characters in Sonic franchise. But they handle him different in here. Where from Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, he's not so annoying and stuff. This one is different. He can still be a doofus, but he isn't annoying or creepy or anything like that. He has a better personality, you would say. So you're starting off well with the show, where even Mr. Big is doing okay. And the plot is very interesting. Sonic destroys this crystal that's shattered, and every time he touches it, he leaps into a different dimension in a way, where his friends have different personalities. The world is in a different setting. So this ring sounds good. Of course, Shadow's after him because Shadow's suspicious of him screwing everything up. Sonic not taking lightly to the situation. So in a way, you can say everything is Sonic's fault, which usually isn't a plot. Believe it or not, when you think about it, despite how cocky and arrogant Sonic may be, when you really think about the actual Sonic plots, he's never been at fault for any of the chaos that happens around him. It's always someone else, and he's just there to help out and fix things up. So this is actually the first time I've seen Sonic being involved with him cleaning up his own mess. Sonic feels a bit more immature in a way. Things are more nature instance, and his love for chili dogs is here as well. A little too much. Well, anyways, another interesting character that has a lot of involvement is Rouge the Bat. Usually, Rouge is a solo character where she's in espionage, being a spy, treasure hunter, a thief, and she's usually by herself. She'll help out Sonic's team when it is a collateral effort, and she would help out. Or she'll even be on Eggman's team, and of course, even mostly be on Shadow's team. So she's a free agent, but this time she's seems to be a very close friend. This time with Sonic in the group. Instead of her being a distant ally, she's a very close ally. You want a very close friend, which it felt different in a way. Her being mysterious, showing up now and then, being cunning, and always stealing is different. You know, of course, Amy's here, and Amy isn't the oh my goodness, I'm so adorable over Sonic and stuff this time. No, she has her own independent personality. The Sonic Boom Amy did too, but this one is better as well. And of course, Knuckles is still Knuckles. It's over. He doesn't talk about the Master Emerald that much. In fact, Chaos Emeralds aren't even talked about much in this series. Only when Shadow gets one, just to fight Sonic, and that is it. Other than that, Chaos Emeralds have nothing to do with the Sonic series, so no Super Sonic. So the animation is great. The 3D is great. The plot is very great. So what caused it for me saying it's a very great show? It's Everything is going great until Sonic goes into another dimension and it just falls off. When Sonic goes to the jungle world, it just feels off. Every night he shows up, peeked around. It's very interesting. It's too one dimensional. The characters are one dimensional. Like whether all the characters are on the same side, one is an enemy, they all act the same compared to the dystopian world with Eggman in it. In the jungle world, for instance, he's in the jungle world, and Rouge, Big, Knuckles, and Tails, they all like savages, so just looking for a way to eat and survive, and that is it. And then Amy is the opposer, but then that is it. It's just a giant jungle world. Um, Jim trying to get along. Then you have the pirate world. The pirate world was better only because the dystopian plot got into the pirate world as well. The fact that it was just a pirate world made no sense. Her friends are pirates, but it doesn't mean the entire world's a pirate. So the worlds that they went to were so one dimensional compared to the ex dystopian world, where the characters seem to have backstories and scars and interesting character thing that brought out their character. Is what I'm trying to say. For instance, Tails. Tails in the alternate dimension of the egg dystopia, he didn't have Sonic there to help him out. He didn't have friends, and the world was cruel to him. So he got heavily into his mechanics, created himself more legs or tails, and he's only looking out for himself. He's still extremely smart, but he doesn't believe in the teamwork thing or being there for your friends. He's really for himself. And all the way up to the season finale, that's all he cares about besides Sonic. Um, like I said, Knuckles didn't change much. Knuckles still Knuckles. He's not as dumb as he was on Sonic Boom, but he's kind of going back to the way he used to be, in a way. But again, I did like him better in Sonic X. I think Knuckles was good in Sonic X. What else? Shadow. Shadow's character is just to be there, just to be opposing Sonic, but not as in a bad guy way. I'm saying, Sonic, you kind of screwed up, and we need to talk about this. So Shadow is angry with Sonic, and then he's trapped somewhere within the dimensions, and he can't get out. So because of that, Sonic's trying to find a way to help Shadow out and just fix his entire mess. Do with his crystals. I think I talked about all the characters. Oh yeah, Amy. Amy's pretty good. She's independent and strong, like she is in the comic books. She's a Sonic fanboy, like she was from Sonic Adventure all the way to Sonic '06, where they made her completely obsessed with Sonic. In a way, she's more like IDW Comics. She still probably has a thing for Sonic, but not to the obsession that they have earlier, which was ridiculous. Even a lot of people thought she was annoying, but she's different this time around. In the dystopian world, she is not a good guy, she is a bad guy. In a way, she's only a good guy because she has been hacked by Tails, but she is still a bad guy. And she even has an interesting sense of humor. She is Rusty Rose, and she serves the Eggmans that are there in the New York City plot. So she's very interesting. The Jungle episode, she's also kind of the opposing force, but not in a bad way. And then in the pirate episode, she's just one of the pirates. But Rusty Rose is very interesting, having her as a bad guy and being kind of very smart, actually, and not she's a threat compared to the others. There's no Orbot and Qbot in the other timelines, but only the original one, so there's that. So, like I said, Sonic Prime was good until they went into the other worlds. Especially with the jungle world, and the pirate world was only saved because Rusty Rose showed up and the plot was moving along. It felt like it was filler. I thought it just froze the plot up when he was going to these other worlds. He's going to these other worlds, and the characters were so one-dimensional. They weren't doing anything interesting, and it was kind of there was no threat. Like, okay, let's get this over with. Let's go back to the Eggman plot where things were in this dystopia and we're fighting against resistance. It made more sense. In a way, you could have made it a video game as well if you think about it. Sonic's humping through different dimensions. He's making friends in different personalities and timelines and situations. And he helps them out. So if they were to do this they need to be in a certain situation or Sonic helps them out with it, and it learns them something along the way. He gets the crystals and he goes back and he helps out the main timeline, the one he's trying to find. But other than that, Sonic Prime, like I said, is definitely a must watch. It's great. It's 8 episodes. You finish this in a sitting or two. It's not bad. It's very good. So like I said, man, Sonic Prime, I can't wait for the next part or a season. You know how Netflix does it. You don't know if it's going to be another season or part. It's all totally up to them. Either way, yes, this was definitely the year for Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, we have a great movie, great video games, the comics are great, and now we ended it off with a very good show. Very good show. Yes, people are hoping that I would say great show. The show itself would have been great if it wasn't for the filler. You only have 8 episodes. You don't need filler. Makes the worlds he goes to worth going to, or else people are just gonna lose interest. I've even seen reactions to this where he would go to the jungle world. And they're like, "Oh my goodness, can we just move on with the plot already? Why is he here? There's no point." Yes, he's looking for the crystal, solving the problem, but it's just boring. They could have made it interesting in some sort of way, or him not be there that long and then go to other worlds. That would have been interesting as well, but that didn't happen. But either way, it was still good nonetheless, and that's good enough. So, we'll look forward to the movie, which is coming out in 2024. So we have to wait pretty much a little over an entire year just to get that. But I'm a patient man. I might do a video about what my expectations for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie would be like. That would be interesting. So, anyways, without further ado, I will end this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. So it's Macron, I'm Anime. Signing out.